holiday season doesn't need to be about complicated recipes or stressing over when things will be done. There is enough of that already outside of the kitchen. Welcome to Meals with Maria. Today I have a super easy, last minute, simple, whatever you want to call it, recipes for you. This is for a low stress Christmas where you still want to eat really well, you still don't want to spend a lot of money, but it will definitely help you to relax while you still have a magical and delicious time.
We're gonna get started with a Parmesan garlic broccoli. This is so simple because we're gonna use bagged broccoli. This saves a lot of time and effort, and especially dishes. So you can just follow the package instructions and then heat a small pan over medium heat with a couple of tablespoons of olive oil. You can then put a couple tablespoons of minced garlic in there, and you just want to heat this until fragrant. I have it over that medium heat so it does start to kind of like boil and cook up. That's perfect because it's actually going to infuse the garlic into the oil, and that's where all that flavor is. Once your broccoli is finished in the microwave, you can just pour it into your favorite Festive pan. It may look like you spent a lot of time on this, but you and I will be the ones that know that you didn't. And then sprinkle a little bit of salt on. You want to make sure that that broccoli gets some flavor. If you are cooking it on the stovetop, which you can totally do, you probably just want to salt the water ahead of time, and that will actually infuse that salt into the broccoli. And then you can just pour that garlic oil right over the top of that. This is so delicious and amazing, especially if you're a garlic lover. You're gonna love this one. There's also always the option, if you don't have fresh garlic, just pour a little bit of olive oil and garlic powder over the broccoli. Then I'm topping it with some grated Parmesan cheese. I serve mine with this delicious chicken and wild rice casserole that I had in a previous video. I'll make sure to link that down in the description box below. But it was delicious. It makes a wonderful side, and it's healthy too. Here we have a charcuterie wreath. And when you see this, how can you not want to make it, right? I think I saw it on Pinterest and I was like, yep, I'm going to make a charcuterie, a cheese and meat board anyway. Why wouldn't I turn it into the shape of a wreath? That's kind of my motto for this Christmas. Why wouldn't I turn it into the shape of a wreath? Or maybe the shape of a Christmas tree. That is good too. So I'm just starting with some cheddar cheese in a block here, and I'm just going to cut it into cubes. I just used a whole 8-ounce block of cheddar cheese, and that was the perfect amount to make this. And then for my other cheese, I'm going to end up using provolone. But with this, it's really all about the setup and the shape. So I encourage you to use whatever your favorite kinds of cheeses are. You can cut some into blocks, you can cut some into triangles. Hey, if you even have some of those cute little cookie cutters, you can cut your cheeses into fun little stars or circles. I kind of arranged everything across from each other. So I ended up putting the blocks of cheese across from each other, top and bottom. And then I put some salami next to that. Again, you can use whatever your favorite meats are to put on a charcuterie board. So you could end up using some like mortadella or some ham, whatever you want. Then I have my provolone, and I know there are probably fancier ways to kind of put these and accordion them out, but you know, sometimes time is short. And so for me, I just wanted to get the charcuterie wreath ready because I was having my mother and grandmother and friends over for a little wine lunch. If you know that we have those, I get together with them. I try to do it about once a week. It's been a little tough this holiday season, but we all bring something usually, and we just have a little bit of time together, and we call it wine lunch because yes, we drink wine that one day a week sometimes during the day at the lunchtime, but it's just a great time to get together, and it's so precious. And so because I was preparing for that, and you may be preparing for a party too, don't worry too much about getting it exactly perfect. It ended up being beautiful, even though I didn't have that amazing style of accordioning I can't even say it, accordioning that I sometimes see online, or I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do that, but it doesn't always happen that way, and that's totally fine too. That's why this is a last minute one. This is, you can just throw it into a wreath shape and it's beautiful. And then the next step on this is I put some prosciutto on there, you saw that, and then I just purchased some assorted marinated olives. Now, I know olives aren't always everyone's thing, but they do look really pretty on this. So I kind of would recommend that even if you don't like them, maybe somebody at the table will. So they really make a nice decoration on here. And you let me know below too what you would put on this, because I think there's a lot of other really pretty options, and I would just love to kind of get your take on what you would do, because I'd love to make it again and switch it up. And then last but not least, we're gonna put some sprigs of rosemary, and that's just gonna make it like look really pretty, like a wreath. They're obviously not an edible portion of it, but during the holidays, a little sprig of rosemary goes a long way. I mean, of course, you can eat the rosemary, but I wouldn't munch down on one of the sprigs. And so this is how it comes out. It's so beautiful. I think it's a real showstopper, and it's something that you really can put together in a jiff. Here we're going to make a really quick cream cheese chutney tree. You just want 1 8-ounce package of cream cheese, and you're just going to slice that diagonally, and then you're going to place the backs of those together, and they're going to look like a little Christmas tree. And you could take it a step further and kind of put like pretzels in the bottom or something like that to make it look like the actual bottom of the tree. And then I have Major Grey's chutney here, and I'm just pouring that over the top, but I have heard that a lot of people love to do this with a pepper jelly, and I have actually even done it in the past with a chili crunch, so that's a very spicy version, but it is delicious. So whatever your favorite kind of jam that you want to throw over the top there. And like I said, a rosemary sprig goes a long way. It makes it look like a real tree. I served it with Ritz crackers, and I feel like that is the perfect side. And speaking of perfect, this is the perfect winter salad. I love to make a salad because you can make it look so beautiful, and it doesn't take too much effort, and it's really healthy and delicious. The key is making your own dressing at home. It just makes it a little bit more special. You want to start with a 1/4 cup of maple syrup, a 1/2 cup of olive oil, or you can use canola oil or whatever your favorite oil is here, a 1/4 cup of mayonnaise, 3 tablespoons of white wine vinegar, 2 teaspoons of sugar, and then 2 tablespoons of minced shallot. Now, I did have shallot on hand this day, but a lot of times I don't, and I usually just sub out like a onion powder for that, or even like a minced dried onion, or even if you have like a little bit of red onion. I think that the red onion itself is going to be like, it's a little bit stronger, but it's just a little bit of an onion flavor, so you can kind of make it your own. The great thing about a dressing is you can kind of give it a taste once you mix everything up and see how it tastes, and see if you want to add a little bit more of this or that, and it's forgiving. You know, if you need to add more, it's okay. If there's something that's overwhelming, you can usually kind of cover it up with a little bit more oil or mayonnaise. Just give that a good stir, and your dressing is going to be finished. For the actual salad, you want a 1/4 cup of thinly sliced red onions, a couple of apples, and I just used what I had, so they were a little bit bruised. Sometimes the kids kind of grab them and then they don't eat them, and you know, it all happens. So I washed them, and there are some bruised parts, but that's okay. I just cut off the bruises that were, you know, serious, and everything tasted great. So you don't need like the top-notch ingredients to make something still taste good. You can even bring it someplace, even if you cut off the pieces of it. Just use what you have. Pear would also be delicious in this. You want 1 cup of pecan halves. If you have them, you could always use like a more chopped up pecan, or you could use some walnuts. I think that would be good too. And then the recipe calls for some dried cherries, but I had some dried craisins, and I mean, is that dried cherries? I'm trying to think. It's dried cranberries. So a little different, but whatever type of dried fruit you want to add to that. And then you can add in your sliced red onion and your sliced apple over the top of this, and then you can just drizzle on your salad dressing. I also think that if you had some like crumbled goat cheese or something like that, this would go great in this. But the wonderful thing about a salad is you can mix it up and always use what you have, and it's still going to look beautiful. I think the key to a salad for a meal like this is to place it on a platter. And when you put your salad on a platter, it looks so gorgeous. It's not like in the bowl, all hidden. Everyone can see it, and everybody wants a piece. I want to thank you so much for watching today. I hope you got some great last minute holiday Christmas ideas. Hope you guys have a wonderful holiday season. I thank you so much for being here. Make sure to click on this next video to keep the inspiration going. Out of use.